what your brain doesn't want to show you is the truth. It doesn't want you to see the truth of your situation because it's trying to protect you. It's trying to make you feel better by telling you lies. So it's saying things to you like, well, things aren't so bad. Or you can achieve it if you really want to. You can do anything, which might not be true. In fact, probably isn't true.
Hi, I'm Liam Naden, and welcome to my podcast, Let Yourself Off the Hook. As someone who has studied success for decades, I have found the formula for achieving your dreams and goals. And it's all to do with how you use your brain. Each week on my show, I will provide you with the tools, resources, and expertise to utilize your brain to its ultimate potential and remove the barriers to your success. And as you will discover, true success in every area of your life only comes when you let yourself off the hook.
Wouldn't it be great to know in advance whether or not you're likely, or in fact whether you definitely will or won't, achieve something that you really want? Well, it turns out there is a way to know in advance as to whether you're going to achieve a goal or an outcome that you want or solve a problem. And the way I discovered this was really through the people who come to me for help and assistance to improve some area of their life. Maybe they're working on a problem, or there's something they really want to achieve, or something they feel they need to have in their life for them to be happy. But whatever it is, pretty early on in the conversation, or whether it's an email or we're talking together, pretty early on, I have a good idea. I can tell with almost 100% certainty whether or not they are actually going to get the thing they're after. Now, it's not like I've got some crystal ball or I'm some sort of clairvoyant or I can see into the future. But what it comes down to is really whether or not what the person wants meets 5 very specific criteria. In other words, there are 5 things you need to have in place to make sure that you achieve what you want. And if you don't have any of those things in place, then you definitely won't achieve what you want. Or if you do, it's going to be through a lot of struggle, a lot of hard work, and you're not going to really enjoy or appreciate getting what you think you want anyway. So in this episode, we're going to look at what those 5 criteria are. And as you're listening to this or watching this, you might like to apply it to something that you want in your life, something that you're working towards, or that even you're just thinking, I would like to have that, or I really would like to have that in my life. So whatever it is, see if these five criteria fit in with how you're feeling and what you're doing and how you're thinking, and that will give you an idea, a very good idea, a crystal clear idea on whether or not you should be carrying on trying to achieve what you want in this particular area, or whether you should be doing something else. Now, of course, one of the things I should say straight off is if you've listened to my previous podcast episodes or you know anything about what I say, I generally say you shouldn't have goals. One of the keys to success in your life, one of the main keys, is to stop having goals. But the thing is, and we're going to talk about this more in this episode, by saying you shouldn't have goals, I'm not saying you shouldn't be working towards something in your life. I'm not saying you shouldn't be making progress. I'm not saying you shouldn't just be sitting in the corner and doing nothing and just feeling sorry for yourself and giving up on life. I'm not saying that at all. But there's something very counterproductive about the process of setting goals. And you'll see as we go through the 5 criteria for getting what you want, you'll see how this fits into the whole idea of what a goal actually is. And in fact, it's only when you turn something that you want or would like to have into a goal, it's only when you do that's when the problems arise, that's when things get stuck, and that's when you, instead of making good progress and achieving what you want and living the way you want, you stay stuck in a life of frustration and stress. So what's something that you'd like to have in your life that you don't have right at the moment? What's something you're working towards? Is it a better relationship? Is it a relationship at all? Is it more money? Is it doing something with your life that you feel you'd really like to do? Maybe you're feeling that you're not doing things that you want to do in your life. Maybe you're in a job that you don't enjoy. Maybe your business is causing you all sorts of stress, and sometimes you wake up, as I used to do, and thought, why am I doing this? Why do I have this business? I'm not enjoying it. Maybe you're thinking, there's something else in my life. There's so much more to life than what I'm doing. I don't know what it is, but I just know I want to be doing it. So whatever it is, if there's something that you have in mind that you're either working towards or you think you'd like to work towards, as we go through these 5 criteria, apply them to that situation. Now, one of the things you have to be in this process is extremely honest with yourself, because I'm going to ask you some questions. There's some things to think about. And if you're not honest with yourself, then the only one who's going to lose is yourself. Now, you probably know this already. You've probably heard, yes, well, you have to be honest with yourself. But one of the things is, when you're feeling stressed, frustrated, or when there's something in your life that you really want that you haven't achieved yet, or you're having all of these roadblocks and frustrations and things getting in your way, it's actually very difficult to be honest with yourself. And this is because of the way your brain works. Because when you're feeling stressed and frustrated and lacking in your life, in other words, when you're not happy, as you'll know from previous episodes, I've talked about this extensively, you're using a part of your brain that is very limited, and it's called your survival brain, which includes your fight or flight. So this is activated by all of those feelings of stress, frustration, worry, and anxiety. But in that state, what your brain doesn't want to show you is the truth. It doesn't want you to see the truth of your situation because it's trying to protect you. It's trying to make you feel better by telling you lies. So it's saying things to you like, well, things aren't so bad, or you can achieve it if you really want to. You can do anything, which might not be true. In fact, probably isn't true. You can't achieve anything you want in your life at all. It's just not true. But your survival brain is telling you all of these lies, trying to make you feel better about your situation, but it's not helping you make progress. And one of the reasons it's not helping you make progress is because it's not being honest with you. It's not allowing you to see the truth. And you can say nice things to yourself, and that might make you feel a bit better, but it's not going to create any progress. It's not going to get you doing the right things to see a change in your situation for the better. So you need to be really honest. There's a part of you deep down that knows the truth, and you have to listen to that part. And if you're finding it difficult, which of course is understandable, one way to get an honest answer to the questions I'm going to pose to you and honest answers to what you need to know is to ask a friend, a trusted friend, someone else who you know will be honest with you, and ask them, is this how I'm feeling? What do you think the answer to this question is? Is this the truth? And they can help you see what you can't see because, of course, they're not stuck in their survival brain like you are when you're stressed and frustrated, trying to get out of a situation you don't like, or trying to solve a problem, or trying to reach a lofty goal. Okay, so if we've got that agreed, you have to be honest with yourself. Let's look at what these 5 criteria are. And these are really the difference between whether you're going to achieve something that you want and whether you're not. And I'm sure you would agree it's really important to know whether or not you are going to achieve something before you start going and putting in all your effort to try and achieve it. Because how pointless is it to spend all your time and energy working towards something that you're never going to get? It doesn't make any sense, does it? But unfortunately, I'm sure you've had the experience of feeling that that's what you're doing a lot of the time. And you see other people doing the same thing and you think, that's a bit silly. Why are they doing that? Why don't they try something different? You know, for a long time, I wasn't honest with myself, and I was determined to reach my goals, and I shut out all of the voices and all of the messages that I was getting that were telling me, you shouldn't be doing this. This isn't going to make you happy. It's not making you happy. Why are you doing this? So I wasn't honest with myself, and of course, that just kept me stuck, and I looked back on it many years later and thought, I just wasted all of that time. and all of that energy when all I needed to be was honest with myself at the time. So here are the 5 criteria. Here are the 5 things that need to happen to make sure that you'll get something that you think you really want. And the first one is the goal, or the thing that you want, it actually has to find you. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, when I say it needs to find you, it's something that has to come to you as an idea or a situation or an opportunity, rather than it be something that you chase after. So, for instance, you might wake up one morning and go, I think I'd really like to do that. Or, this is the solution to what I'm looking for. So, I need to sell my business, or I need to look for another job, or I need to look for another relationship. So you have this thought that comes to you. Or it could be someone comes into your life and says, here's an opportunity, why don't you come and do this? Why don't you come and work for us? Or, I'd like to do business with you, here's an opportunity on something we can do together. Or it could be something that you find by accident. Maybe you're looking online on the internet and you see a video or a website and you go, wow, that's a great idea. Maybe I'd like to do that. But this is all very different to you sitting down and trying to figure out what you want. And that's one of the problems with all of these goal-setting exercises that many people do in workshops and books, is they all say you need to sit down and figure out what you want. But you can't really do that, can you? And I certainly used to try and do that. Sit down, right, what do I want? Okay, well, these are all the things that I like doing. And these are the things that I don't like doing. I need to figure out what it is that I want. But the thing is, and we've covered this in previous episodes, when you're trying to figure out what you want, you're using a limited part of your brain. You're only using a limited amount of information. So it's really important to see the difference between a goal that finds you and you having manufactured, if you like, or struggled or figured out what your goal should be. So think about what you want or what you're trying to achieve at the moment. And if you can, think back to when you first got the idea of when you thought you wanted to achieve that. Is it something that just came to you and you felt a little bit excited about it and thought, wow, that's a great idea. Yes, I'd like to do that. Or was it something you said to yourself, I need to have this, I need to try and figure out what it is. This is the solution to a problem, is to reach that goal. You know, for many people in their business, they say, I've got a problem in my business. I'm not making enough money. So I need to figure out a way to make more money in my business. And I need to come up with all sorts of plans and strategies and what are we good at and what are we not good at. And it doesn't work. All it does is create more problems. And I've seen this so many times. Whereas if you step back and say, here's an idea that's completely different. And that's actually the solution to the problem. I don't need to have all these plans and do all of this to make my business better. Something else has come along with a completely different solution to the whole problem of how I can improve my financial situation. So that's the first criteria. Is this something that came to you as a good idea, or is it something you're trying to force to happen? And the second criteria, and this is a big one as well, is you have to have no doubt that you're going to achieve it. Now, by no doubt, I don't mean that you don't have moments of feeling, oh, wow, I'm a bit overwhelmed. You know, this is a big project. It's full of uncertainty. I don't know all of the steps to achieve the goal or achieve what I want. It's not about that. You are going to have those moments, but it's about this deep knowing within you that goes, you know, I can just feel that that's right for me. I can feel that this is going to happen. And the thing is, that little voice, which is actually the other part of your brain at work, your creative brain, which we've talked about, nudging you and telling you that this is right for you, that little voice we suppress when we're all stressed and frustrated and we try and shut it out because sometimes we're afraid of what it might be saying. But there's still this knowingness when you have this goal which excites you a bit and you think, you know, I can really see that. I can really achieve it. I know I'm going to do it. I don't know how, but I just know that I am. And again, this is very different to what many people try to do when they to achieve something, is that they try to convince themselves that they believe it. And again, this just doesn't work. You're trying to convince yourself of a lie. Yes, I don't doubt that I will achieve it. Yes, I know I can. All of those things, but you are doubting. In fact, the inner voice is saying to you, you're not going to achieve it. And the reason you're telling yourself or trying to convince yourself that you will is because you're trying to suppress that voice, which is saying, you're going after the wrong thing. This is not right for you. You're not going to achieve it. So it's a very different feeling. It's not a feeling where you need to motivate yourself to try to achieve it. You just know you're going to, on a deep, almost intangible level. You just know it. That's the second criteria. The third criteria, and in many ways this is the biggest, is that if you really want to achieve something, or if you want to know whether you're going to achieve it or not, and whether it's right for you, is that you have to ask yourself, do I need to achieve this for me to be happy? Because if you need it, then you're not going to achieve it. It's not the right goal for you. You can want it. You need to want it, but not need it. That's the difference. And there is a big difference. And here's some of the questions to ask yourself to know the difference, or to know whether you really do need it or whether you want it without needing it. And here's the first question. Do I want this because I think I can't be happy unless I get it? And if the answer is yes, it means you need it for you to be happy. And that need is going to block you from getting it. Because what is that need? That need comes from frustration, stress. And all of that is your survival brain at work. Also, am I dependent on this to happen for me to be happy? In other words, I can't be happy without it. So I need this business to work. I need to make this amount of money for me to be happy. I need to get that job. I need that job to work out for me to be happy. I need this relationship, this marriage to work out for me to be happy. I can't go off and get another job or be married to someone else. No, I need this to work for me to be happy. And another thing to ask yourself, will I always feel dissatisfied until I get it? Will I always feel dissatisfied? Will I always feel there's something missing in my life? Will I always regret it unless I get this thing that I think I want? So I could never be happy. I'll always feel dissatisfied unless I have this blissful marriage to this person, or unless I make $10 million a year, or unless I live in a house that is 10 times bigger than the one I'm currently living in. Now, of course, this takes a lot of self-honesty to admit whether you need something for you to be happy, or whether you could just be happy even if you didn't get it. And here are some clues. One way to know whether you need something for you to be happy is in the words you use. So when you're talking about this thing that you think you want, or this thing that you do want, do you say things to yourself like, I must have this, I will have this, failure is not an option? All of that reflects need, doesn't it? You must have it. There's a stress and a tension around it that means you need to have it. And when you're trying to achieve this thing that you want, what sort of actions are you taking? Are they impulsive? Do you find yourself reacting and doing things without giving it too much thought and just hoping that it'll be the right thing? Are you acting against your judgment sometimes, against your sense of intuition? And we talked in a previous episode about intuition. Because if you are, you're going to be making lots of mistakes. And do you have the attitude, well, I know I'm going to make lots of mistakes, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to just keep doing things, because if I do 20 things and 19 of them are wrong, are mistakes, then at least I'll do one thing that's right. Now, of course, all this is built on a lot of pressure and tension. And what else? Need. So when you're feeling needy and you're feeling stressed, you're going to do a lot of the wrong things. You're going to be impulsive in your actions. And so often with people, particularly in business or in a relationship, they do the wrong things and they just hope that it'll work out right. And they say to themselves, I'm just going to say that thing to that person, or I'm going to sign that deal, or I'm going to do what I want to do right now, even though I think, I don't know if this is going to work. In fact, part of me tells me that it won't, but it'll be right. I'll make it happen. I'll make it work. I'm just going to do it, and whatever happens, I'll make it work. But as you've probably found when you've tried that approach, all that does is create more problems. And sometimes you say to yourself, very often you say to yourself, oh, I wish I didn't do that. Why did I do that? I knew I shouldn't have done it. But why did you do it? Wrong part of your brain in control, which comes from this need, the stress and tension and pressure you're putting on yourself that you need to achieve the goal that you've set for yourself. And the other way to tell whether you need something or whether you're just happy to want it and allow it to happen if it's the right thing is to look at how you feel. Are you feeling frustrated, stressed, worried? And above all, are you feeling stuck? Are you feeling like, it's not working, there's something not working, I'm just so frustrated and stressed by this whole thing. It needs to happen, I just need to make it work. Is that how you're feeling? But instead of all of those things, when you have something that you want to achieve that you don't need for you to be happy, in other words, what I can guarantee you will achieve if you really want it, you're going to be saying things completely different to yourself than I need to have it or I must have it. You're going to be saying, well, it'd be nice to have. That'll be great to have. I would love to have that. But if it doesn't happen, that's okay. Something else better will come along. Can you see how much less stress and pressure is on you when you say that? And what you do are much better things. They're not impulsive. They're not done out of urgency and fear and worry that you've got to do something, you've got to take action. You think about it and you say, is that the right thing to do? Yes, it is. I'll do it. So your whole effort and energy and your actions are much smoother and much more easily done. And what you find is that instead of being stuck, you're energized and things are actually moving forward. And you're enjoying the process. And you have this connection to the goal, or should I say connection to the thing that you want, but you don't have a desperation about it. A lot of these things are quite subtle, but there's a big difference, isn't there? And you can see that is the difference between needing something for you to be happy and wanting something because you think it would be a nice thing to have. But I guarantee if you have all of that need around something that you want, you're not going to achieve it. And if on the off chance that you do achieve it, it will be by luck and it will come at a great cost to you. The journey itself will be full of frustration and stress. And when you get there, you're probably not going to really enjoy it, appreciate it. It's not going to make you feel like you thought it would make you feel, which is to be happy. Okay, the fourth criteria, and this might sound a little bit new age to start with, if you like, but how I would describe it is to say the universe must help you to get it. Now, by the universe, of course, I mean your creative brain, that higher intelligence that you tap into that is beyond just your thoughts and your own struggles and your own actions. You must get a sense that there's something outside of you that is helping you to get it. It's not through all your own efforts and actions. And when you're working towards the right thing, when you know that it's what you want, when it's something that's come to you from somewhere else as an idea that you haven't struggled to try and figure out, when you have no doubt that you're going to achieve it, and when you don't really need it for you to be happy, but you would like it, then you do get this sense that you're working in collaboration with something else. It's not just all your own efforts. It's not your own struggle that is creating the momentum and getting you there. So it might be that things like coincidence and luck show up in your life. Maybe somebody comes along to help you and says, hey, I've got an opportunity. For instance, say if you're your goal or your desire is to earn more money, and you think, I really would like to earn more money. Now, things aren't good at the moment financially, but hey, I can cope, and it's not the end of the world, and I'm still better off than most people in the world. But I'd really like to have some more money to really experience some freedom in my life doing some of the things I want to do. Well, in that state, somebody might come into your life, or you might see something online, an opportunity might show up, it might present itself to you, and whatever happens, it works. And you think, wow, how did all this work? How did I turn out being in this job that somebody's offering me twice as much money as what I used to earn? Or this new business opportunity is working really well. How did all this happen? There's something helping me. I'm being helped here. And what you also get helped with is to stop making mistakes. You avoid doing the wrong things, and you think, I'm really glad I didn't do that. Something told me not to do it. Someone or something told me not to do it, so I didn't do it, and I can see in hindsight it was the right decision. And sometimes you're going to have setbacks, but you look back and you say, I'm glad that didn't happen the way I thought it should. It wasn't a setback. Something was guiding me, something was looking after me to make sure the right thing happened rather than what I thought at the time. So you have to have this sense that there's something beyond you that's helping you achieve the goal. It's not all your own efforts, all your own work, but other things are coming together, if you like, to make it happen. That has to be present. And that's very different to when you're struggling away and nothing is working, and you feel like it's all your own effort, and things don't go right, and you think, I need to learn more information. I need to try and figure this out myself, what to do. Because in that situation, you're feeling stuck. You're not feeling like there's something helping you. But that something that's helping you is your creative brain. And it's there to guide you to get the things that you deserve and want to have, the things that are truly going to make you happy. And the last criteria, number 5, and this is very similar to the previous one, is you have to see some positive progress along the way. Now, I mentioned this just a moment ago, but if you're feeling stuck, and if you're not making any progress whatsoever, then that's a sign that you're going down the wrong track. You're going after something that is not in your best interests, and you're never going to achieve it. And sometimes I talk to people who've been struggling for years, often months, but sometimes years, and they're not making any progress. And they're continuing to tell themselves, I'm going to achieve it. I will. I just need some more information. I just need to try something else. And sometimes their friends have been telling them, look, why don't you give up? You're going down the wrong track. They can see it, but the person can't see it. But if you're not making progress, why are you staying stuck trying to achieve what it is that you think you'll want? Well, it again comes down to all the things we've talked about before, and most of all, fear and need. I need that to happen for me to be happy. I need to have that marriage with that person work for me to be happy. I need to make this amount of money for me to be happy. Now, of course, your path is not going to be a straight line. I mean, you are going to have setbacks. Things aren't going to go according to plan. But you've really got to be going and be able to see that in the big picture, you are making progress. You're getting closer. Of course, the other thing that happens is when you're not getting any closer is you start to doubt. And remember, the second criteria was you need to have no doubt. So when you start to doubt that it's going to happen, that immediately means you're activating, that doubt means you're activating the part of your brain that is going to keep you stuck. So whatever issue that you're working with at the moment, whatever goal or thing that you want to achieve, ask yourself, again, be really honest, am I making progress? And how long has it been that I've been working on this project, trying to achieve this? Is it too long? So those are really the 5 criteria. And there's another way to look at a goal. Remember I said at the beginning that trying to achieve a goal never works. And that is because all of these 5 criteria, what they're really describing is not a goal at all, but a project. Now, what's the difference? Well, a goal is something that you think you want and need to make you happy. It's filling a gap that you have in your life right now, and it's based on fear. I need to have that. I need to set that goal. I need to achieve that for me to be happy, and I can't be happy without it. So what happens is, with a goal, is your focus is on the end result. It's only when you get it, when you get to the end of the journey, that you'll be happy, when you achieve that. And you don't really have a clear plan on what you're actually doing. You say to yourself, I'll do anything to achieve it. So you're not so concerned with the journey. In fact, you see the journey, you think and know and believe that it's going to be a struggle, that it's going to be hard work, that it's not going to be pleasurable. So that's what a goal is. But a project is quite different. A project is something that you say, I would really like that, it'd be great to have, but I don't need it. It's just a project. And if I don't achieve that, I'll create another project and work towards that. So there's much more focus on the journey, on what you're actually doing to reach that outcome, that objective. And so you're focused more on doing things that are effective and enjoyable. And it's almost like the end result is the bonus. So you're enjoying the process. And of course, there's going to be a lot of work and effort, sometimes a bit of struggle, sometimes uncertainty, sometimes fear. But overall, you're making progress and you're seeing things come together and you're focused on what you're actually doing to achieve that. And what that means in terms of actions is you end up doing a lot more of the right things rather than the wrong things. You know, this is one of the reasons why the goal of losing weight never really works. And often people achieve the goal of losing the weight they wanted, but in nearly every case, the long-term goal, which is to keep the weight off, they don't achieve that. Statistics show that most people who go on diets, if they achieve their target weight, they end up putting it all back, sometimes more. And the reason for that is they're focused on a goal, and the goal is not the journey. So they don't associate any pleasure with the journey. They only associate pleasure with achieving the goal. So they make the journey difficult, and it's all about depriving themselves of the foods they like and doing exercise that they don't like. Whereas the real key to weight loss, permanent weight loss, is to make the journey enjoyable. Change your lifestyle so that you do enjoyable things that are good for you, that are going to help you lose weight. So create different habits about the sort of foods that you enjoy. Get rid of the addictions to foods that are bad for you. That's the secret to weight loss. And that's why weight loss really should never be a goal, it should be a project. Okay, so in conclusion, if you apply these 5 criteria, you will know with almost 100% certainty whether you're going to achieve what you want or not. And again, as I said, it depends on being honest, but it's a very good indicator for the truth. And if it's a goal, if it's something that you're stressed about and you need to happen for you to be happy, just say to yourself, I'm going to get rid of it because it's not right. It's not going to work anyway. I'm just using the wrong part of my brain trying to achieve that. It's a waste of time. And find a way to uncover it as what you really want. And the way to do that is to use your creative brain. Use your brain the way it's designed to be used. Use the right part of your brain that knows what your goals are, or should I say it knows what you want, and it knows how to get it for you in the fastest, most effective, most efficient way possible. Allow it to do its work. So let yourself off the hook. Allow your brain to do its job, to work the right way, and see everything that you really want turn up in your life.